Welcome everyone to another video series called 5 with Rob. I'm here with Leah Tuttleman of IDC Interiors, and she's my guest today. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you today, Rob? Thank you very much for inviting me. It's great to be here.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. We're here to support the MMR businesses and the businesses that support the community, and you are one of them. You've been great supporters of ours. We've seen a lot of you for the past couple months, and so I figured we must interview you. And we'll start off. Tell us a little bit about your background, what you do.
Okay. Well, my background is I'm originally from upstate New York. I moved here with my family in 1970, and I've lived here ever since. I love everything about Arizona. This is my home. I'm not going anywhere else. I went to all Arizona schools. As a matter of fact, I went to the local high school here, and they offered the first interior design class, and I took it, and I was hooked.
Wow.
From there, I went to the U of A, and I got a degree in interior design in Tucson, and just loved every minute of it and couldn't wait to get out into the industry and actually spread my wings and work. While I was at the U of A, I joined an organization by the name of ASID. That stands for American Society of Interior Designers. It's a national organization, and I was a student member at the time, and I really grew into it, and I'm now an associate member of ASID just because of the relationships that I've had over the years with the organization. The nice thing about that particular organization, it's similar to an AIA, Architects Association, American Institute of Architects, excuse me. So it's an accreditation is what it is. And it easily validates your skills, your knowledge, and your experience as an interior designer in this industry. And it helps clients and employers validate that you have the credentials for the job. So from there, do you want me to continue and talk a little bit about my work experience?
Yeah, I mean, you can jump into like what services you offer your clients, how you differ. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, it's up to you. The floor is yours.
Well, I have 17 years worth of commercial interior design and sales work behind me. I worked for a local company and sold steel case office furniture for 17 years. And then after that, I also taught interior design at Phoenix Community College for a number of years while I was also working, selling steel case and being a designer for commercial furniture. At which time I left commercial industry and met up with a home builder, general contractor of residential homes. And I met him through my children, actually, and he said, do you want to come on board and partner with me and be an interior designer? We're building quite a few homes, and we really could use your help. And I was so thrilled. At that time, that was in about 2005, I decided to start my own business. So I started IDC Interiors in 2005, and I worked with him doing interior design work and also project management. We built we kept it to about 4 custom homes throughout the valley per year. And that is from the dirt up. That is from, the lot to building a custom home. We did quite a few in Fountain Hills and Desert Mountain. And I worked right alongside him, learning the ropes, learning how to read plans, learning what it's like to have to get permits and meet all of the requirements to build a custom home. We also sprinkled in remodels as well, residential remodels. We did some commercial, but it was mostly residential and custom home use. And I just loved it. So I decided really that I wanted to learn more from people and really spread my wings. And I did some work on my own as an interior designer and enjoyed it. It was all word of mouth. But I decided I would align myself with other builders because I knew I could learn from them and get a lot of experience. So I did. I set myself up with a couple of other different builders. I worked with architects, worked with builders. We did new homes and we did remodels. And then about 5 years ago, again, back to that accreditation with ASID, I was contacted by Rebath, which is a national company. They have about 50 franchises throughout the country. And they asked me if I would be interested in joining their team in conjunction with what I do as a designer, to be their corporate interior designer for the nation. And I've been doing that with them for about 5 years now.
Wow.
Kind of brings me to where I'm at today.
Okay, so we met you on the residential side.
Yes.
Your name was given to us, and we were super happy after the interview and hired you to do our remodels. So tell us, our audience, you know, what you're doing nowadays. Like, for instance, you project managed for us. You also have an interior design background. Like, what services do you offer if someone were to call you up after our interview? Like, where can you go with everyone?
Well, I have a variety of clients. So I've worked with clients that are ready to downsize, and when they move into a smaller home, they want to do some remodeling so that they can make it their own. I work with a lot of clients from out of state, all over the country, including Canada. They make this their second home. They come here to visit with their children or grandchildren, and they're gone usually in the summer, and they come back in the winter. So I work with a lot of people that want to make changes here when it's on the remodeling side. What I find is that oftentimes the summer is the busiest time for me, because clients often want to work with me right about now. They want to start at the end of the winter, very beginning of spring, and we make selections together for anything that they want to do in their home, whether it's, you know, a complete remodel, a gut job, or small interior, changing flooring, or whatever it may be. We make all of those selections together as a team, and then they go away for the summer. They're gone for 2 or 3 months. I keep in contact with them, of course, through email and through pictures. Sometimes they fly in during the project, and sometimes I don't see them for 3 months. They come back and the project is completed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nothing better than that. And I will say, the people that you hired under you to work were always here on time, on schedule, and so were you. So
Thank you.
I did have a conversation with a client who was thinking along the same lines, being in California in the summer. I said, I have someone for you. So I like that.
Yeah.
Tell everyone, you know, what options they have. I mean, how you stand out, how you operate. You're a little bit different, you know, GC versus project manager.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Really good question, Rob. I'm glad we're talking about this, because I think people are unsure of which direction to take. So if you were generally to look up information and you go onto Google, there's general information that will indicate to you online that if you're looking to do a project where labor, and materials are over $1,000, or the project's going to take more than a week, or you're thinking that you're going to need several permits, or permits are going to be required, you might want to consider working with the general contractor. A general contractor will take on those liabilities because they have insurance, ROC, liability insurance to take on the responsibility of projects that do require permits. But I will say that it doesn't have to be a contractor that gets a permit. A homeowner could decide that they're going to do an electrical project in their home, let's say. They hire an electrician, and the electrician does the work. And through the process, they've pulled a permit on it because they want an expert from the city to come out, evaluate what that particular subcontractor, let's say in this case it was an electrician, that city official will take a look at completed work at different stages of the building process, for example, where the electrical work was involved. And they will make sure that everything from building codes are met. They will make sure that they're protecting the homeowner so that they're putting eyes on the project themselves to make sure that everything is met. Having said that, we have so much going on in the Valley with people remodeling. If you drive down any street, you are going to see dumpsters in the driveways, right? You're going to see remodels and new construction. I think there's something like, what, 10,000 people from other states coming into Arizona each month. It's crazy. So there's many people that take a different route. And in your case, it worked out, I feel, very, very well, because you did your due diligence and you knew what you wanted to do, but you needed somebody to help manage the project. So we went through an interviewing stage. The interviewing stage is extremely important. If you're going to interview somebody as a designer, you need to find out if they've done that particular project before, that particular scope of project, how comfortable they are, how experienced they are. Do they have the labor in terms of their own support staff to do the work? And is their labor licensed, bonded, and insured? And all of my labor is. So all of my subcontractors have a construction license to do their work, and they can be found on an ROC. You can look them up with a register of contractors and vet them individually. And that's why I've created a team of people that I know are very, very vetted in terms of their licensing and their bonding and their insurance. And those are the types of people that I recommend anybody work with, and that's who I work with. There's a lot of questions that you need to ask during the interview process. And the interview process, I will say, is a building relationship process. You're starting to build trust in somebody, and you're starting to build a relationship. You're going to talk about budget in that meeting. You're going to talk about the scope of the project. You're going to talk about, as I said, the subcontractors that would be used, how long that person thinks the project is going to take. You're going to talk about, you know, what's important to you as the homeowner in terms of where you want to start the project, where you want to end it, and what your expectations are. Through those meetings and through those interviews, I think everybody's going to get a pretty good feel if they're comfortable with that person or not. There's one thing that I do, and I highly recommend to anybody in this industry, and that is ask anybody that you're interviewing for a list of clients that they have done similar projects with, and call those people on the phone. No matter what, you should find out from more than 2, 3, or 4, or whatever you're provided, what their experience was with that project, with you and with your subcontractors, because I'm going to bring the same people along to every project. So they're going to be able to really give somebody insight into the confidence that they're going to need before they make this kind of a commitment. For you and for anybody else, this is a big financial commitment. And you want to make sure that other people that have made similar commitments will get the results that you're expecting to get.
Yeah, so, you know, you were technically a project manager on our job, not a GC, but you have done everything a GC would have done. You're just a different, what would you say? It's the same role, but a different name. And, you know, you're paid as a project manager, not as a GC. So we really like that option. Something that was great, you know, after interviewing you and talking to your references, we knew right away you knew what you were doing and you had a lot of experience. And, you know, the timing of it's so important. You really knew when to bring your people in and how to schedule them, so there wasn't any downtime, and our project kept flowing. I mean, the flow was really well, if I can say flow. Yeah, no, you did a great job.
That's a lot of experience. You get that with experience. You get that with experience, and you get it with good relationships that you're building with your subcontractors as well.
Yeah, I mean, Danny and you really worked well together. I'm sure you work well with any of your clients, but she seemed to really enjoy, you know, spitballing questions, you know, going over scenarios, options, and, you know, you worked with everyone else on the team really well. Everyone, it was like a team effort. So anything else you want to bring up that would be important for any of our clients listening in, watching this video, that are thinking about possibly remodeling, you know, other things that stand out, pitfalls, dangers, anything you want to mention?
I would say definitely look into the people that you think that you would want to work with. It's great to get a referral. My business is all on referral. I don't advertise. I have a website, but people just check it out if they've asked to go to my website. But it's basically referral business. So somebody else is backing up work that I've already done. But I think it's important to ask a lot of questions. I think it's important to talk to a couple of different people that you might be interviewing. Ask a lot of questions. Don't be afraid to say, you know, this is the type of personality I am. This is how I work. Some people say, you know, during the project, we're going to be living in the house. You know, we've got kids, we got dogs, we're going to be living in the house. And I'm always very upfront with people to say, if that's the case, we've got to look at the project and structure it a little bit differently, because there's going to be more involved in the coordination, not only between me and my subcontractors, but between you and your family. We have to coordinate it. We have to know when it's a good time to start. Do you allow people in on the weekends? Is it just during the week? You know, do you have special circumstances where nobody can come in on, you know, Fridays or whatever, or nobody can come into your home before 8 o'clock in the morning? So I'm one of these people that I'm very hands-on. I think that's really, really important. I think you need to ask people that you're interviewing, how often are you going to come to the house? I mean, you know, you're not the plumber, and the plumber knows what they're doing, but are you going to be there the day the plumber is there? You know, how long will you be here during this project? How often will I see you? That's really, really important. And
I
don't
will
be afraid
say,
to, you know, just be yourself and say, do we really think this is going to work? Do we think this is going to work as a team?
mm-hmm.
Because everybody wants to have a good relationship. I do on my side, my subs do, the homeowner does, and it ends up becoming a friendship, believe it or not. And, you know, you're sending Christmas cards to each other and inviting people over for happy hours because you've gotten to know them so well. So is this the type of person I want to get to know and be friends with probably for a long time? And, you know, one of the things that I think is really important for me, more so than, you know, earning on a project, and, you know, we do earn, we work hard and we do earn, but even more so is to be able to go back to our client, or especially I feel this way, to go back to my client at the very end of the project and say, hey, you know, guys, could I use your name and your number? And give that to a potential client that's looking to do something similar, so that you can give them a reference of our work that we had together. And when my clients say yes, I mean, that just means a lot to me. So that's basically what I strive for more than anything.
Yes, you exemplified great service. We're trying to step up our game. I mean, everyone needs improvement on different areas, but you were ridiculous. It was really a good experience all around.
Thank you very much.
No problem. We got to know you very well as well, which was awesome.
Thank you. It's been great. It's been my pleasure.
We've worked through COVID. We met you probably in March, and we started in October, late October, finished January. So, I mean, we kind of worked together through COVID.
We
did.
Want
to tell the audience a little bit
did.
How, you know, has it changed your business? Have you done anything differently?
I did. I do. You know, I have to think to myself that we have people and families that have suffered, and we need to take a step back and make sure that our humanality is more important than the nuts and bolts of a project, our humanality. So we have to schedule people in so that they're not on top of each other working in your home, because that would make anybody in this time uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. So if I have several subcontractors working in your home at one time, including your family, it's uncomfortable for people at this time. So we have to rethink how we're going to spread it out a little bit more. And we have to be open with our clients and say, you know what, the project may take a little bit longer for a couple of reasons. Number one, we went through the holidays in this project, and that takes, you have to be upfront with people and say it's going to take longer when you work through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Sure. We're also working through a pandemic. It might take a little bit longer because I want to spread people out. Instead of having trades together in one room, I want to let one finish and then another one start. Mm-hmm. But we've also seen an uptick in the fact that people are, as probably most people in Arizona know, they're working more from home. They're looking at their environment. They're saying, we love our view. We love our home. Let's just, you know, remodel what we have and make it even more special. So we've been very, very, very busy. It hasn't slowed down the construction business. Look at how home sales are. Homes are on the market for such short periods of time right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we've been very busy through all of this. Very, very busy, thankfully, and trying to be as safe for everybody, most importantly, as possible.
Yep. Okay. Well, appreciate your time. Did you want to add anything else?
I just want to say thank you very much for having me today. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you're successful and in your business. And I just want to thank you guys for bringing me along and on this great journey. It's been a lot of fun.
Excellent. I appreciate your time. We appreciate your help in our home.
You bet.
And wonderful. Have a great weekend. We'll talk soon.
We'll talk to you next week.
Take care.
Thanks, Rob. Bye-bye.
Bye.